All right, good afternoon, everybody. It is 2 p.m. Eastern Standard, or maybe it's Eastern Daylight Time, on March 19th, 2021. This is the Splinterlands AMA. This is the voice of Aggroed, one of the co founders. The other co founder, Matt, is here. Matt, do you want to go say hi?
Hello, everybody. Am I coming in all right on the recording?
Nope, I screwed up because I'm the worst DJ ever. All right, let's try that again. Now I can hear your shuffling.
Okay. Hello, everybody.
Perfect. So we're here to go answer questions from the audience. We're here to go give a little update on roadmaps and what we're working on, and just kind of share some of the stuff happening in the Splinterlands, which is basically nonstop awesomeness these days, frankly. Uh, okay, so Matt, is there anything you want to do to kick off or get started, or should we dive into questions first? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I didn't have anything specific. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on, particularly this week. So, I don't know. We can start taking some questions, and then if things slow down, we can just dive into some of those things.
All right. So,
I don't like to let the questions get like too far up in the chat.
fair enough. Yeah, I just lost. I just lost 4 freedoms, or a fighter for freedom. All right, question. I bought a skin for a card and would like to set it as my desktop background. I can't seem to find any way to get a large enough image for it not to be gritty. Is there a way to access skins I've purchased in full size?
Yeah, I would say just message me, and we can try to get you high resolution artwork for that. Figure out where that is. I mean, in the game, obviously the skins are meant to show on the card in the game, and we purposely keep things kind of small and low res there because it's internet based, and we want to make sure people aren't downloading huge images for everything. But yeah, just shoot me a message, and we can try to get the high res version of that for you.
Judah Keo is asking, is the Splinterlands team concerned at all with current state of Splinterlands competition or the current core game, league play, especially in the champion rank? Each season seems to get worse with the lack of people playing, and seems like each season a new champ player decides to be done playing, but no one is replacing them at the same rate. Top 50 players don't even need to be in Champ 1 to receive rank play rewards. One minor suggestion that makes sense to me would be to require at least Gold 1, Silver 1, Champ 1, etc. to be eligible to receive ranked league rewards, perhaps spurring more play.
Yeah, so I am at least concerned about that, and I think ultimately it comes down to the rewards that are available, right? They need to be, if there are significant rewards available, it will encourage more people to do it, and encourage more people to get the cards necessary to do it. So I think right now, it takes a lot of cards, and especially a lot of the cards that can be more expensive or hard to get to really get up to the top of champions. So it's just difficult or not possible for a lot of players to even get up there. So from our perspective, I look at increasing how can we make it more rewarding to be there, which should just naturally get a lot more players up there, and encourage more people to get the cards to be up there. So one thing which is a little more down the road is I think it'll help when Chaos Legion, the next planned set, is released, and we kind of have a modern and a wild format, because I think in the modern format where all the older cards aren't able to be used, it won't take as much of a investment. You won't have to get as many cards, I think, to be competitive. So I think that'll help. In the meantime, we do have some things planned that I don't really want to talk about specifically, but that are kind of pretty specifically aimed at increasing the rewards for all players, but particularly those that are higher up in the ranking. It's one thing we had mentioned in our last roadmap post, major thing that we haven't announced yet for Q2 and Q3 of this year, which I'm kind of surprised nobody has asked about. But, a major part of that is increasing the rewards for all players, especially at higher levels. So, that's definitely on our radar. And one thing that I'll say that will include, or is planned to include, is champion points. So, I'll mention, if anyone for a long time, people have been accumulating champion points and asking what they're going to be used for. So this is planned to be the first time that champion points will be used. So I think, players will be happy to have more of those in advance.
Yeah, and from my perspective, there's only one number that matters, and it's how many players are in the game. And when you break it down, players that are in Champion are more valuable to the ecosystem than brand new players that are just starting in Novice. So it's a major focus for me to go get as many new players into this game as possible. And I'm stuck here waiting for legal to get through a little bit more work before I can go announce our next big sort of big campaign. We got a big thing going, but I'm not at a point where I can discuss it. But it'll be here. I thought it would be here by today. Maybe it'll be here by next Friday. But it's going to be a major focus for us over the next couple months. And I think a big effort will be to bring in new players, particularly those that are interested in owning a bunch of cards. So hopefully that'll get to that question too. As we get bigger, getting the bigger things happening is a little bit trickier because there's a bit more at stake and more people have to be included, and it just gets. I don't know. As we grow, it's a little bit harder, but things are moving along.
Yeah, I should also say a lot of the new kind of marketing stuff we're doing and the stuff that Aggroed's talking about is also focused more on I don't know how to term it, but just people with a lot more money to spend, I would say. So especially with the recent, NFT boom, there's been NFT sales for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. And as kind of Aggroed mentioned, champion level players are more valuable overall to the ecosystem because they've put more money in. So we're kind of trying to target a lot of that audience specifically, who can come in, and will be able to get the level of cards necessary to be up in champion and stuff like that. So that's definitely kind of the focus on marketing for the right now and the upcoming campaigns.
And hopefully we're not doing that at the expense of everybody else. We want players of all types, all ranges. That's part of the idea behind having the two different formats, is making sure that there's an affordable way that you can enter the game, and then maybe a less affordable way, but that lets you use the entire collection, which is awesome and powerful. It's just also it's a little daunting as you're trying to figure out, how do I get started here. So that part of having new players come in and do well is part of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point you made about not being at the expense of everyone else. I mean, that's the cool thing about this type of project, is that none of this stuff is at the expense of other people. Usually, I mean, it's usually beneficial to everyone, right? So if we have more, more people coming in who have more to spend and put into the game, some of that may be purchasing packs from us, but likely a significant portion will also be buying cards on the market and things like that. So, that's always a big focus of ours too. Is just trying to get more money into the game, not necessarily, or into the ecosystem at large, not necessarily, just buying stuff from us.
All right, Biz is asking, question: was there a final decision on how Diesel rewards work, and if that impacts Uniswap rewards by drawing from the same pool? And then, although Diesel rewards and Cub pool are now added, will the official Splinterlands DEC market feed still only use Uniswap prices? So for number one, I don't think that we've reached a final decision, in part because the Diesel reward structure isn't released yet. I heard from the dev that he's expecting that to be done this weekend, at least for an individual pool. And I'm hoping that the whole structure around having a decentralized fund that people can vote on is going to be done on the back end next week. So, it's development, so there's no promises there. But there hasn't been any decisions on one because it's not all released, but it should be here soon, and we can come up with a deeper plan. Matt?
Well, yeah, so also what Aggroed is talking about specifically is B token rewards for the Diesel pool, which is That's the B is the main token on Hive Engine. So similar to Cub, giving out Cub rewards, it may be possible, and this is up to a vote by the B token holders and stakers, to allocate some of their token to liquidity providers in the diesel pool. Separately from that, we talked about adding dark energy crystal rewards for the diesel pool, but we're kind of waiting to see how the other rewards will work out first to see what it makes sense to do there. And then also, all work on liquidity pools and a lot of other stuff kind of just was put on pause because we wanted to get the Cub pool thing launched as quickly as possible since Leo Finance launched Cub DeFi. So that was definitely the major focus, which I think is what it should be, because they're basically giving us, giving some of their inflation of their token out to our users. So we wanted to take advantage of that as quickly as possible. And so going on to the second question, the price feed has been updated to take into account the diesel pools already. It hasn't been updated yet to take into account the Binance Smart Chain pool used on Cub Finance. That's just a matter of, we gotta build that. But since the diesel pool is so much more liquid than Ethereum, just due to the gas fees, it kind of will track the Binance chain pool price a lot more closely because it's easy for people to arbitrage between the two. So I think, for all intents and purposes, the price feed is going to be pretty accurate across all the different pools right now, and then we'll just have it pull actually from the Binance Smart Chain pool when we get a chance to do that.
What about how we're going to do not just diesel rewards, but you had mentioned this a little bit. How are we going to reward liquidity providers across the entire ecosystem?
Yeah, okay, that's a good point. So I talked about this last time. What we're thinking is just to make to split up the currently the reward pools for Uniswap is 100 million dark energy crystals per year. So we're thinking just to divide that pool, not to increase the pool, but to divide that pool across all the available pools that we want to support, and just have it be based on dollar amount of the liquidity provided. So, $1 of liquidity provided in Uniswap will earn the same portion of the rewards as $1 of liquidity provided in the diesel pool or whatever. But, and certain pools may get bigger or smaller shares of that total pie. Like, for example, the Cub pool probably doesn't need any share of that pie as things stand right now because the returns are so high at the moment just from Cub, and we'll see how that works out with the diesel pool. So it'll be, for those who are familiar with Cub, it'll be very similar to how there's like the 6x or 4x to basically show how much of the inflation goes to each pool. So we would try to do something basically similar to that. But again, we're first waiting to see how the other rewards will work out for the diesel pool, and then kind of figure out the whole plan going forward.
Okay. I don't know.
Aggie, you there?
Oh, sorry. I forget I'm on push to talk. I'm looking at Blackheart. What seed plus A roll that you have? It's from the seed germinator thing. Maybe that's I think that might.
No, that's for investors. I think that's for people who invested.
Yeah, that's correct. Well, I was trying to figure out if that was in game or something, but no, that's in Discord, okay. And we mark some of the people that have invested have roles, and they can get access to rooms that had some company data in it.
Yeah, to be clear, invested means like equity investors in the company behind Splinterlands.
Simply Mike is asking, can you give a little more info on what exactly will happen when the Brawl on testnet goes live?
I can actually, because that's really for Cryptomancer to answer. So I'm going to be, hopefully pleasantly surprised on that too. But I mean, we could talk about just generally how it works, which is that it'll be very similar to an anytime tournament. But so I think, Aggroed, correct me if I'm wrong, you probably remember more of this than I do, but like on the first day, so it'll start tonight at I think 9 p.m. Eastern. And the first day, people can choose their phrase. Is that right? And then the next day is for the battles.
Yeah, so it's a 3 day process. Day one, you're viewing everything, and you and your team are working together to figure out who's going to combat at what different fray. Day two, you're going to actually complete all the battles, and then day three, you get to go view the results.
Yeah, so I guess tonight at 9 Eastern, it should let everyone in the guild start entering different battles. And so that what a fray is, it's just a different battle with different parameters. So there'll be one, might be like gold cards only and no level caps, or there could be, any cards but bronze league level caps. And so there's, X amount of different battles which we're calling frays to enter for the guild war. And then, the guild can decide which members will enter which ones. And it's one player per fray. So the idea is that like one player can't just go do all of them. You need to have participation by many different people in the guild.
So you'll have your anytime tournament, and it's anytime tournament structured, but now you have to communicate with your guild who's going to take what level. I have these level cards. I'd like to participate here. I normally play silver, even though I could play higher. This is where I'm comfortable. Let me fight these silver matches. Hey guys, I have this elite gold foil champion level deck. I should be playing at this league, and you guys are coordinating that. And that's your first day, is figuring out who's picking which match rule sets. Not the individual like combat rules, like extra armor or something, but like, the gold, what tier, what kinds of cards are allowed, that sort of thing. Hopefully that gives you enough of an answer, but there's nothing like starting the guild brawl to see what it's going to be like. Next up, Byzantinus is asking, what's the update timeline for the horror promo pack? And then how viable is it for Splinterlands to introduce horror alt skins for the 6 cards featured? I don't know if Carrie answered later, but I think they've been minted, and hopefully she'll have a couple days now. Sometime between now and early next week, we'll actually get those out. And then how viable is it for Splinterlands to introduce horror alt skins? So we don't have the rights to do that, but that is something that we could go talk about. And as tribes get NFTs added to them, maybe that's something that's even handled at the splintertalk.io site. So not quite sure the full plan there, but I don't know. I'd have to talk to them to know if they will allow their art to be in our game as well. Other thoughts on that, Matt?
No, I mean, technically it should be relatively easy, so I'm open to doing that if they're in agreement with it.
Rondon is asking, I want to ask again, is there anything to do about Jotun? It breaks the game. The win-lose ratio is crystal clear, and it's getting to the point where I'm going to have to decide to either buy Jotun or quit the game.
I mean, I would say I agree with that, and I think it's definitely something that should be looked into. I kind of would prefer to try to have some type of more, organized and official like poll of the player community or something. I don't want to have us just go and make that decision, which is what has happened in the past, but that was a long time ago. So I agree that especially in lower leagues, that the win rate is overly high and that it is a problem. So, maybe we'll see if we could set up some more formal process to just take the community's temperature on the change, which is also something we just want to start doing going forward. And it's something we're kind of going to work on putting processes in place to have like more formal ways of, getting feedback from the community rather than just people, talking in Discord, because there are definitely a lot of people that don't talk in Discord. That would then be underrepresented. So I think this might be a good opportunity of like first use case for a more formal mechanism for that.
Question for, and I agree with what Matt just said there. Biz is asking question for Aggie, when Brawler? So I said I would do it when I got the tournaments up. I just got the tournaments up today, so there's another month of tournaments available now. But I didn't get to Brawler in the time that I had. So that's on my list. Hopefully I'll be able to start building a couple for this weekend. But again, I still lost the tournament. I don't know, like some browser cache clearing thing killed my tournament. So I gotta go remake it.
I can get that back for you also.
Okay. Yeah, I need to go do that with you. But the like getting all the tournaments was a higher priority, so we have a month now, and it's next up on my list to go get the Brawler done. Coronavirus is asking approximately how much dark energy crystals from pack purchases is allocated towards tournaments. Where are the rest of the dark energy crystals going towards?
Well, dark energy crystals from untamed pack purchases, all of that goes to Splinterlands. We're the ones who sell packs, so it's no different than if you buy them with, Bitcoin or PayPal or whatever. So, we use those dark energy crystals, and we have also committed and still plan to keep a certain dollar value of tournament rewards roughly every week, and we keep doing that. So most of the dark energy crystals that we get, if not all or even more than we get from pack sales and stuff and land sales, go to the tournament rewards. So they're basically given out to the players. But officially, there's the 5% market fee, which is 100% always going to tournaments. And then also whenever dark energy crystals are used to buy things like what are they called, dice and other stuff that's dark energy crystals only, all the dark energy crystals are burned except 5% also, which goes into the tournament prize pool. So those are the two places that specifically go into the tournament prize pool, and then we use whatever additional DEC we've gotten. Sometimes we need to buy more on the market to just fund the level of prizes that we've committed to.
Hack and Slash is asking, is there something in the works to get dark energy crystals and maybe Hive in the NFT and collectibles tag on CoinMarketCap?
I doubt Hive, but I'm not sure. So we haven't reached out to CoinMarketCap as far as I'm aware. But we should, because it's just important, and helpful to get that stuff out there.
Yeah, I started looking, and then it got the technical stuff. So Matt and I need to work on that together. I'll point you at the link again, Matt. All right, hence my question. Lower level players will again get less benefits then? I don't know what that's in reference to, Simply Mike.
Maybe it's in reference to us talking about increasing rewards for higher level players when the question about Champion League, but that's not our goal at all. Our plans with future projects that we haven't announced is to increase the rewards for everyone. Just increase the rewards that are available in total in the pools for the game. But, they will be more heavily weighted toward players who are higher ranked and generally, have more assets in the game. But it should increase the rewards for everyone is the goal.
Dave McCoy is asking, can you talk about the new partnership or marketing plan you thought would be happening this week or next? I'm still waiting on legal. So I have a pretty cool, awesome multi-month campaign in the works. Just can't go full bore and describe the whole thing. But I think that this community and the company will benefit well by doing this. So I can't say it now. Byzantinus is asking question, what are the plans for the third Digicon? So somewhere between a month and a half and 2 months out, we'll get another Digicon going. The last one was a great success. Hundreds of people showed up. Reseller who has his own brand of NFTs, sold out of an entire collection of NFTs there. We sold hundreds of dollars, if not about $1,000 of NFTs. And it just helps us build partnerships and, make things happen over there. So it's been great. And we're just going to keep doing it. It seems like Gala Games is going to be a major sponsor for us. And I hope that we just keep going. Keckman is asking, will there be another land sale?
we are not. Well, by land sale, you mean like selling some of the existing land remaining at a discount? Like if you're
I'm
talking
assuming
about
so.
new land, then no, we're not planning on that. But we've already announced that there's going to be a land sale or offering land at a discount when purchased with VAT tokens, which is scheduled to start, I think, April 1st. And that's the only planned one, but it's possible that there may be others in the future, depending upon if we still have enough land left to sell.
Blackheart's asking, when will exclusive tournament be hosted for the pros and those who beat them? Digicon wrap up. It's still just like the first 5 days, so there's still a lot of things that have to happen to kind of wind that down. But I would imagine sometime next week that should be happening. Junikio saying, thanks for the answer. Was feeling like the daily league play game was missing some updates, tweaking since collection power. Everything else has been land brawler news. Glad to hear some things are in the pipeline. Yeah, thanks, Junikio. Glad that was pretty good for you. Question, will the new rental system have notifications? For example, if I can't find a card under the max price you have set it to rent for.
Where's that?
I'm seeing, this is the Monkish Penguin today
sorry,
at 210.
Yes, the plan is to have notifications not just for the rental system, but just for regular market purchases and sales and things like that.
Carrie's sharing that we have some cool game credit. Game credit tournaments are coming, or maybe they're already up. So there's 4 upcoming tournaments, so that's something to consider. When assets are sold on the atomic market, there's a 5% fee. Does any of that go to you? I guess they're asking us as Splinterlands.
Yes. Yeah, and I don't remember what the exact breakdown is. I think like 2% maybe goes to Atomic Assets, which is the company behind Atomic Hub, and then I guess 3% goes to us. Not 100% sure on that, but yes, we do get a portion of that, which we also put toward the tournament prize pool.
Matt, two sheds, Clark. 2 castles, bud. 2 castles. Love the new quest, Snipe and Sneak. Question, could quests also be based on finishing conditions instead of starting conditions? Win 5 battles with at least 4 armor left. Win 5 battles with at least 15 health left.
So yes, they could. That would take a significant amount more development work than the current types of quests do. So it's not. I'm not saying it's not something we would do, but we always have to prioritize what to spend time on. So the current types of quests are already built, and it's just like adding a new thing to check. So that's why those are easy, and we're the first new ones we get in. But I think it would be good to have different types of quests in the future also.
I see Fat Jimmy down at 217. Question, is there any way you could add summoner abilities to the summoner graphic during battles, like the monsters? This would be a big help with understanding what's going on, especially for new players. I've had several new players ask me about this.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. So if a summoner gives like +1 attack or an ability or something, show it there, because you don't see the card, you just see a picture of a summoner. I think that's a good... I'll send that over to Nate to see if he can do a design for that. It shouldn't be too hard to show that there, but I agree, that would be good.
Carrie's saying she'll get some of the rewards and maybe prizes or tournaments out likely this weekend. Steelman is asking, any chance to increase time to select team before tournament match from 2 to 220, at least for some of them? Not everyone likes to be rushed, especially with ever-growing amount of cards. I thought I had most of them at 220. Some of the earlier ones, like if you play the novice matches.
But he's saying to change it to 20 minutes.
Oh, 20 minutes. So I'm not going to, I just put up a month of tournaments and I'm going to complete through April. If there are changes that the community would like and you can get stakeholders on board, then that's for the tournament planning room. And I think Biz is still coordinating that. Maybe Dave McCoy some too. And if you guys want to get changes, they won't be. I'll receive changes about a month from now, and I will implement them for May. So I'm not promising to implement everything. If you're like, hey, only run novice tournaments, then we're going to have some issues. But if you guys have reasonable tournament suggestions, and that could be one of them, it's not, I'm trying to make it less of a ask Uncle Aggroed if he will do this, and make it more of a, well, go run it by the tournament committee, which is basically the people that are in that room that care a lot about tournaments. And if you can get support of its members, then I'm amenable to changing it. For a while, we've been thinking that a good portion of the game is really about having to do this with some amount of speed. The anytime tournaments, having it be 20 minutes doesn't really impact other players. It just impacts you. So I'm not morally opposed. If that's what the players want to do, I can support it. But it's not ask Uncle Aggroed. It's ask the tournament planning room, and I'll respond to what I see in there.
And this is just, it goes back to what I was talking about of a more formal process for player feedback. When we were talking about Jotun, we're also looking into implementing a similar type of more formal process for tournament stuff. Because, people have a lot of different opinions and ideas about how they want the tournaments to be. So we have a, more formal kind of type of voting process or something where everyone, his opinions can be heard without having them to necessarily, live in Discord chat all day. I think that it will be good. It's something we're working towards.
Biz is asking, since another month of tournaments are up, when are you going to fix the exploit of people signing up for a tournament when in one league, but then being in a different league, higher or lower, with a higher entry fee when the tournament starts? This largely bypasses the intent of having different entry fees for different leagues.
Yeah, I think we talked about making a change where it will check the league at the time the tournament starts, not just when entering. So if you entered with a lower fee because you were in the correct league, then if you went up a league or whatever, by the time the tournament actually begins, it would check at that point. There's still some open questions there about what would exactly happen at that point. And how that would work. Would you just be kicked out of the tournament? Would there be some option to pay the additional fee? So aside from figuring those things out, then it's a matter of, there would probably be a Cryptomancer project to implement, and he's fully working on guild brawls now, which I do believe is more important for the time being.
All right, Dave McCoy is asking, Aggie, can you please mention the spring training tournaments so that people know you like the idea? Yeah, so Dave is running spring training tournaments that don't have DEC prizes, but actually have collectible NFT prizes. So some people are going nuts over these things. It's almost like NFTs are the hottest market in the world right now, and getting unique NFTs with a reason that we're competitive is pretty freaking sweet. So if you like tournaments and you like fighting in the Splinterlands and want something in addition to deck, then go join the spring training tournaments because they're pretty awesome. Bragger's asking a funny question. Cheaters will be caught tarred and feathered. Is that a promise? We won't actually tar and feather people. Although she's saying yes, plenty of tar and feather. Okay, what else? Are there plans to add additional quests and or achievement system?
Yeah, there's definitely, for the achievement system specifically, that's been planned for a while, and it's one of those things that just keeps getting pushed back due to other things that we feel are higher priority. And so, at this point, we have a number of other higher priority things that, I think most players would agree are much higher priority. But it's definitely something we want to get in. And then, we talked a little bit about more quests before, but as with everything, it's a matter of how much work is involved, and where does that fit in.
Okay, Biz is asking, so with the Guild Brawl, what are the main benefits in participating other than bragging rights? You earn crowns, upgrade barracks, get gladiators, buy stuff from the shop, but all that seems self-contained within the brawl systems. Are there benefits, DECs, special cards, etc., that you earn that are used outside of the brawl that you get from brawls?
The plan is that there will be a number of things. I guess mostly in the shop, but you need to participate in the brawls, earn the crowns to update the shop, and then be able to purchase things in the shop. And the idea is that there'll be more and more things added to the guild shop over time that have benefits outside of guild brawls and guilds in general. So as a guild, it will benefit all players in the guild to be able to get those things. Some of that will be in the land expansion. Some of that's planned to be with the stuff. We mentioned the new project we've mentioned that we haven't announced yet. So yeah, I mean, overall, that's our thinking with this. Is it's not just this self-contained thing that has no real purpose outside of the guild brawls themselves, but that they'll actually be something that players will want. They'll get an advantage outside of that.
Question, can you discuss how many new players are joining? I know we've seen a big increase in the last 30 days joining our Team Possible guilds. Yeah, thanks for the softball, Dave. Let me go pull up the chart. So things have been going pretty well. So signups average per day is 309 for the first 18 days of March. And then spellbook purchases is 63. So in 2 weeks, I'll have a post-mortem on March that will go clarify these numbers. But that just in these 2 weeks alone, we've had like a 5% increase in the number of spellbook purchases for the entire game. So that's pretty solid. That's a good 2 weeks. So far in total, we've had 5,555 new accounts register. So we are seeing a big uptick in the number of players and the number of signups, and it's a lot faster than it's been at any other time in company history. So I know we all want more players here. It's moving at a pretty good clip at 5% in 2 weeks. 5% growth in 2 weeks. Any thoughts you want to add to that, Matt?
Yeah, what's encouraging to me is that it's still growing. And so I didn't know if it was just we did the wax thing, there was some brave stuff, and that might just be a big bump and then it goes back down. But at least so far, the numbers are not going back down, and they are still going up for the most part. So that's really encouraging. And we're trying again with everything. People are asking, when are we going to do this, or what's that, or can we do this, or can we add that? So we have to try to balance all of these things. We have to have some things focused on partnerships and promotions and marketing. We have to have some things focused around the higher level players. We have to have things focused around lower level players and new players. So there's just kind of almost unlimited stuff to do, really, and we just have to boil it all down to what are the most important things, with the ultimate goal of growing the game, right? But from growing in the game perspective, you might think, we just should focus completely on marketing and new player retention. But that also, if we just focus on that, then things aren't as good for the players who bought in a long time ago and have put a bunch into the game and are in the higher leagues, and that's not good either. So ultimately, we just want more money and more people coming into the game, and that should hopefully be a cycle that grows on itself. Other people will see asset values going up, hopefully some big purchases, some that can grab attention, and that will encourage more people to join, etc. And that also increases rewards, right? More money coming into the game, more rewards are available to be earned, so it means people are more incentivized to try to get more cards and try to move up. So that's what we kind of have on our plate at a very high level overall, is here are all these different focus areas, and we just need to pick and choose what projects we're going to do in which areas and when, and what resources we have to work on them and all that stuff. So definitely not a simple task, to say the least.
I did miss Hack and Slash's question. No offense was meant. Just scrolling through. He was wondering if there could be a separate new quest so that there could be 2 or more quests each day to complete.
I mean, it's not something we had planned, and again, with what I just talked about, it's a matter of, do we want to spend the time doing that, and do we think that specifically is going to help promote our goals? So I think that might be cool, but aside from that, I'm not sure that's going to be a high priority.
Question. This might be sass, but it's actually a fun question. When lands come out, will there be a surf system or anything like it added? Your monsters and your summoners were going to work the land. So maybe that's a sassy question, but that's your cards are going to be the like hardcore workers to help that your property earn as much as possible. Anything else to add?
Yeah, I'm not sure what exactly is meant by a surf system, so it sounds like you do, so I'll leave that to you.
All right. Question. What is the current status and availability of promo codes? New players always ask for them, and it sounds like there's been a few ways to get promo codes for free spellbooks lately. Question. In prior weeks, people have been asking about the status of the new developer. Aggie and Matt, are you willing to give an update? I was actually just asking him, who happens to be in the audience, if he has a mic and if he'd like to talk. So, Matt, unless you have an objection, I was going to go allow him to introduce himself and say hi to the people.
Yeah, so we have brought on a new developer onto the team, someone that I hope is going to be a more leadership role of the development work, to take some of that off my plate, so I can also focus on other things like company stuff, marketing stuff, and most importantly, game design stuff. But that'll take a little while. We didn't really, prep him to talk beforehand, so I'll leave it there. But yeah, we're also looking to potentially hire more people, in the near future, which has kind of always been the plan as part of, raising money with the land sale and some other things we're doing. So, our hope is to grow the team pretty significantly over the course of the year to help, try to be able to do more and more of the stuff that we want to do and that you guys want.
Call me Tim. Do you want to go step up to the mic for a moment and at least introduce yourself, give a little bit of a background, and we'll keep it light and friendly for now, but maybe after a couple more weeks we can get into the nitty-gritty of what you're working on.
Yeah, sure. Am I live?
Yeah, you're live and coming through clear. How are things?
They're good. Yeah, no, you can call me Tim, as my username suggests. Yeah, it's first week, and I'm really excited to be on board, really excited to learn more about the community and get more involved with the community and the evolution of the game and the company. So, not much more to say than that.
Do you want to give any bit of background? Are you what
Sure.
are you bringing to the table? What are you? Matt and I are pretty excited that you're here and working with us. Give our players some sense of that, please.
Yeah, sure. I mean, so I've been in software development for quite a long time. I've worked in a lot of different industries and a lot of different verticals. The common thread probably across all of them tends to be large scale systems, large distributed systems. And my roles have varied from leadership roles to architecture roles to development, hands-on development roles. So I tend to be hands-on no matter what I'm doing, and then the other things kind of depending on the needs of the role in the company. And I've worked in, you name it, I've worked in it. So I've worked most recently in IoT. I've worked in digital marketing, and personalization, and a bunch of other industries as well.
Any particular reason why you're excited to work for Splinterlands? Like, what is it? The game? Is it the blockchain? Is it crypto? What got you? You with a guy with as much experience and code knowledge and capabilities as you have, you get to kind of write your own ticket. What was it about Splinterlands that made you say, this seems like a really cool, fun project that I want to be a part of?
Yeah, well, you just said it at the end there, but I'll elaborate. It's a really cool product, a project and product, and I'm really excited to be involved with it. Yeah, I try to kind of reinvent myself from job to job, so I don't like to do the same thing twice. So I'm usually looking for the new, interesting challenge to kind of force myself to learn and grow and then hopefully bring a bunch of skills I've acquired along the way. So blockchain is really interesting space. Obviously, don't need to tell probably anyone on this that it's a really interesting space. I've had some intersection with blockchain in the IoT space before, but nothing significant. So getting involved in something that's so attached to so part of that ecosystem is really exciting. I'm a gamer in my background, in my personal life. I love uh, games of strategy in particular. So I'm a big board gamer, strategy board gamer, and I've done plenty of collectible card games in my past as well, and a lot of interest there. So it's just a really interesting spectrum of opportunity, including some really cool people like yourselves, like you and Matt, and some I think really interesting time for the company as well. So.
Awesome. Well, glad to have you here. Thank you for joining the company. Oh, you're getting some questions from Biz. So, what are your favorite strategy board games, and what's your favorite collectible card games?
So my CCGs are probably mostly limited to Magic the Gathering. So I've been in and out of that ecosystem a couple times. Currently out. Occasionally I'll crack some packs and do some drafts, but that's about it. But and then I've done some living card games, which similar but different economic model, I guess. Like Lord of the Rings, living card game, and things like that. Board games, I'm all over the place. I have personal collection in the couple hundred games probably. So anything in the BGG top 100, if you know what that is, I probably have played it at least, maybe own it. Yeah, Board Game Geek, and so things like Terraforming Mars and Quacks Quedlinburg, and if if your background, if you're listening in now and your background is games from when you grew up, and that was Monopoly and Risk and Clue, not so much those games, but more what they call kind of designer board games.
The Euro games collections. All right. So that's pretty awesome. Glad to have you on board. I'm really looking forward to freeing up Matt some for us to be able to get even more stuff done around here and have another hand that's really senior and has done a lot out in the space. So it'll be great to have you, and thanks for joining, Tim.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
All right. So I did skip over Biz's question. It just fed into the Call Me Tim introduction. He said I didn't talk about the availability of promo codes. Generally speaking, we don't hand out promo codes. Every now and then, there are some events. There was like a paid event or a registered event where you had to get in with your email address, and I handed out a bunch of promo codes for that. But generally speaking, it's really not. It's not something that we do as much anymore. It was a little bit too easily gameable. So only really when we know an exact user, an exact email, do we give out those codes. Anything else you want to add to that, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, in general, I'd like to move rewards, to something other than codes for the starter pack, because I think it's important that everyone, puts some skin in the game, at first, and in order to be able to participate in the reward pool that's shared by everybody. And then, there potentially can be ways to earn other rewards like free packs and other different things. We still, do reward codes for certain things where it makes sense, but like Aggroed said, when we're just giving them out, it just ends up with being people, trying to just grab as many as they can to make alternate accounts, which we don't want. So we're trying to be pretty, closed up on those.
So a little bit of housekeeping. Is there a time that you want to do this next week, Matt?
I don't know. What did we do recently? What haven't we done? Just...
I don't think we've done a morning one that recently.
Yeah. All right. It seems we go like morning, midday, evening, midday, morning. So I guess next one will be a morning.
All right. So let's go do. You want to do 9 a.m.?
Yeah, 9's good. Eastern Daylight Time, which should be 1 p.m. UTC. March 26th.
Yeah, and I just forwarded that to your calendar too. Well, we're out of questions, and is there? I guess we said
I
if we
see
got.
some more. Dave had a question at least.
Oh, did I miss Dave's?
Yeah, we try to ignore Dave, but
No, we don't.
He knows I'm joking.
All right, what's the? Oh no, he's just said great job on the paying out the places. Was there another question? What I miss?
It was right after Byzantinist asked his question. I'll just read it. His question is: we get more players and the general reward pool stays the same. Have you considered increasing the rewards? In other words, if we have 5x more players, that will mean you will have to up the overall reward structure, or else everyone will get a less amount if they start to share it with others. So, yes. So currently with dark energy crystals, hindsight is 2020. But they're really more of a kind of stable token with the way they're structured. But that's not the way that the reward pool for them is structured, with it, reducing 1% every month from a fixed size. It's kind of structured in a way that would make more sense if it was a token that could potentially appreciate in value. So that that is something that we 100% need to address. And as I kind of mentioned earlier, that's the major focus of the new project that we said was coming but haven't announced what it is yet. So I'll leave it at that.
So also going back up there, Stealth Trader was talking about a map. So he has this little game map, which is sort of like a first-person crawl where you would go through and fight monsters in all these different locations, and then as you do that, you could get some different rewards. Definitely cool. This is like a single-player campaign mode. Matt and I have spoken about single-player campaign modes before. It doesn't generally make it super high on the like next steps list, but I definitely think it's a good idea, and if we have more money and more devs, would make it onto the list of things to do.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing we're looking at with newer features is, obviously if there's smaller things, we try to get them in, but from a higher level perspective, it's like, how can we get more money into the game, into the ecosystem? And to be clear, that doesn't mean more money to us, right? Because directly necessarily through buying packs or land, but it's just any money coming into the ecosystem, buying cards off players or buying dark energy crystals on third-party markets, that benefits us along with everybody else. So that's kind of always our focus. I'm not, there are potentially some ways to do that, with like a single player campaign type of thing, but I think there's better opportunities, for also single player campaign would be a big development and design project. So we just look at cost benefit really for everything. So awesome idea. I love it, as a gamer, and I'm sure people would play it, but we have to pick the things that are really going to move the needle compared to the amount of effort that are involved.
We're getting the question again, are we going to tokenize potions?
Yeah, again, not currently planned, because our goal with that is to just have that be something that encourages people to buy more packs.
So we want you to get some of these potions and then turn around and say, hey, I get all these, I should use them for something. You can get a pack from somebody else and use your potions that way and sort of liquidate your potions by offering that as a service. So there are workarounds, but it's not amazingly convenient. And it's better to just, grab some extra cards for the potions that you get. Hack and Slash is asking, is there a new Blast rule set coming?
Isn't the Blast rule set one of the ones we released already?
Yeah, I thought maybe it was all melee monsters have Blast.
No, it should be all monsters get Blast. So that one was one of the 3 that was just released. Is that Monday, I guess? I don't even remember what day it is, but yeah, unless I'm misunderstanding.
Some people haven't seen it, and but some people are saying it's active.
Oh, maybe it didn't get set to active. That could be a mistake on my part. So, as Antonist, let me know about those things if it wasn't set to active.
Okay.
So yeah, they will be coming, and they will be set to active probably right after this call. Now that I realize it seems like they're not. Sorry about that.
Anything else, kind of big picture, that you want to talk about before we get just a couple minutes here? But we are out of questions, so it's probably a good time to wrap up. But if you have final thoughts, Matt, let's address whatever.
Yeah, I mean, big picture is things are already doing incredibly well for this year. I mean, I'm sure that has a lot to do with cryptocurrency prices, the general market sentiment, NFT excitement, and everything. But we're not by any means sitting by and just, saying, okay, great, we don't need to do anything and we can just ride that wave. I mean, we're really, we have honestly like way more projects than we can handle. One of the first things that our new developer, who you just met, kind of brought up as he's learning everything that's going on to me was like, wow, there's just so much stuff. How are we going to do all this stuff? So, obviously we need to prioritize heavily and potentially even bring on more people as needed. So, but the point as far as players is the goal of all these things that we're planning and wanting to do is, like I said, to bring more people and more money into the ecosystem, which really should benefit everyone. So we're just, I especially try to avoid, talking about things. I don't want to overhype things because you never know really how things are going to turn out. But we are just planning for, I think, a lot more stuff this year than we've ever had any other year. And that coupled with the general market sentiment in this space could just be really, really explosive.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have Matt and I are still keeping a couple of these things close to the chest, and it's not our preference, it's just kind of what we got to do. But we have a couple cool announcements that are hopefully not in the way far off distance, but are pretty soon. And I think the community will respond well and be excited for some of these things. And hopefully we'll get some new players, new excitement, new folks that want to own game assets. And I don't know. Anyways,
Stealth Trader seems to be onto something there with his recent posts. That's all I'll say.
Little teaser, little alpha leak for the guys that stick around for the end. All right, guys. When Wax Hive Bridge to better use both markets more smoothly. Yeah, I was actually asking about that last week. We have 6 bridges that we want to work on and only so many devs. But yeah, getting Wax both for NFTs and then also just for Wax itself is actually on my list with the Hive Engine hat on. But anyways,
that's just Hive Engine specifically.
Yeah, that is Hive Engine specifically. All right, so let's go close this down for now. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for paying attention. Thanks for participating in our game. Welcome some new players. Welcome our new dev. And life is pretty exciting and good. So we'll be back next week and have some good times. Good luck in the battles. There's a whole month of tournaments up, so explore those. And thanks for being part of our Splinterlands ecosystem, and many blessings of a wonderful weekend. Thanks, guys.